At Crystal Farms, farm and family are at the heart of everything we do. It's why we proudly source our dairy from a cooperative of family farms across the Midwest. Crystal Farms, for farm and family. Learn more at crystalfarmscheese.com.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And good Sunday morning to you. Welcome. Nice to have you. We're going to another road course, Sonoma, California. Joined by my two co-hosts, starting with Dan Margetta of St. Francis, Wisconsin. Hey, man.
Good morning. It's been a while since we've been in a road course, hasn't it? When's the last one we were at? Was it Coda?
I believe so.
And Brian Schmidt, the other voice you hear out of Utzberg, Wisconsin.
Morning.
Hi. Yeah, this is a 1.99, so let's call it a 2-mile road course. It's 110 laps. And Denny Hamlin, the very popular Denny Hamlin, starts from the pole at 92.178 miles per hour. It's funny. Last week they brought him out. When he was introduced at St. Louis, he came walking out with his daughter, and the kid was trying to figure out why she was getting booed. They weren't booing you, honey. You're a cutie. How about your dad? He's not the most popular guy there is right now. So, gentlemen, another road course, and there's nothing wrong with all these road courses for those road course lovers out there, but we're talking more and more road courses, not just Sonoma. This week, of course, now we're getting ready for Chicago. Brian, what did I see happen? They're already stealing equipment when they're setting up in Chicago?
That's what I saw, yes. Yeah, they had some carts or like side-by-side four-wheelers or, UTV vehicles that they used to deliver equipment around to different parts of the track. And, yeah, evidently they were stolen, I don't know, was it Tuesday night into Wednesday, something like that. So, yeah, they're off and running in Chicago, literally.
It's sad. It's obviously sad, but, you get what you pay for. We had to figure there may be some issues in Chicago. Is that the worst that'll happen? I think we'd be happy if that was the worst that would happen in a potentially powder keg like Chicago can be. That said, it's a beautiful city. It's one of the major metropolitan markets in the country. Now, Sonoma, on the other hand, is not a major market. It's not too far from San Francisco. I'm not sure how many race fans are in San Francisco, but of course, California is always important for NASCAR. It always has been important for NASCAR to have a major presence out there. Popularity of their sport, I think, is you need to be there for the nationwide popularity of a sport. And now, all that being said, are they going to put a good show on this road course?
Usually they do at Sonoma. I mean, it's got characteristics about it that makes it kind of tough. It's one of the, I think, rougher road courses as far as to drive kind of thing. I think it seems to me that if you get off course here, you go for a ride. So you got to be pretty precise on what you do to get around the place, right?
I know back when you had just the two road courses, you had just Watkins Glen and you had just Sonoma on the schedule. The guys would always, all the drivers and crews would always refer to one being a super speedway, that being Watkins Glen, because you're more wide open and there's less corners, and Sonoma being like the slam bang short track one, because it's way more technical, way more tighter corners. So I think it's a very uniqueness of the two of them, is that they're completely different. Now you add a couple more of them in there with Coda. Coda's more of a wide open track. Street circuit, we don't know what that's going to be. That's going to be like, I don't know. Yeah. And then, you have Indy. Indy's more technical too, but Sonoma is probably the most technical one. It's like riding a roller coaster because you're up and you're down and you're around and you have blind corners, and it's definitely a technical track. And always has been. And now they've reconfigured it many different times. We're back to using the chute again. I think the other year we didn't. We went all the way through the carousel. So now they're back to the shorter version of it. which allows for more laps and a little quicker lap time and probably some more passing opportunities.
Is that the carousel where it's so tight corner right before you hit that short straightaway in the start finish line?
Well, that's where you come out of the chute. That's at the top end of the drag strip. The carousel was before you go to the chute. You come back in there, and there's a real big carousel turn. And they used that originally. Then they took it away. I think they brought it back last year. Now they took it away again. So they keep going back and forth in the configurations there. But I think the configuration they're using now allows for the most passing opportunities for the Cup cars.
And that's very, very helpful and makes for the difference really in a road course race.
This is the only place in California for them to race right now. I mean, because the California Speedway is on its way out. Riverside's gone. Obviously, it's been gone for years. So is Sonoma the last place?
Oh my goodness!
That good thought. Yeah, I mean, the Indy cars run up at Laguna Seca, and that's more like near the Pebble Beach area there, and they say that's a real dandy to get in and out of that place. That's why NASCAR's really never considered going to that place. Although I think that would be really cool to see those cars on that track. That one is faster, more sweeping corners. I always thought Laguna Seca was one of the best tracks as far as the West Coast ones are concerned. But to get to it is such there's not real feasible roads and everything like that. So that's why NASCAR settled in on going to Sonoma way back in the day, because it's a easier access to get in and out of.
It makes perfect sense.
Sonoma is owned by Speedway Motorsports. I think that also has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that definitely. They did race there yesterday. The Xfinity Series had interesting race. It was the Kyle Larson show. He dominated that thing. And I was kind of watching that and looking back and forth at my computer and watching what was going on at Eldora. And I never saw how Eric Almirola passed Kyle Larson. Was it on a pit stop or something?
Yeah, I think it was in a pit stop. They had a caution, and they came out of the one. We're on a different strategy. I think Larson and Allmendinger had come in. Almirola stayed out. I think that's why he got out front, and everybody kind of expected Kyle Larson to just go blow by him, and he caught him pretty quickly. But then he nicked the tires in one of the turns and kind of threw the toe off in his car, let Allmendinger get by him, and by that time Almirola was out front. And no, actually Almirola got the lead in a restart. I'm sorry, he got him on a restart. That's what it was.
Amazing.
Restart, and Kyle got bogged up amongst the cars there are cars that stayed out, and Larson got bogged up behind him, and Almirola had a better path through there, and he got ahead of him that way. That's what it was.
He got ahead, and Larson did his best to get around him, but he screwed up. Even the greatest drivers on earth screw up once in a while, and on that real tight right-hander, Kyle Larson got into a stack of tires that were there, so you didn't cut too low, and he sent him up the racetrack, and A.J. Allmendinger got by him. That's the way they finished. Eric Almirola wins the race. Allmendinger was second, and Larson was third. Before you think that that's some kind of brand new team, it was called RSS Racing. It was number 28, but it wasn't exactly a brand new. Well, Brian, explain it a little bit, would you?
Well, that's a car that's from Ryan Sieg Racing. So Ryan Sieg is the 39 car, and they usually run another car there. They're in the Fords, but when Stuart Haas wants to put another car on the track, they usually look for one of these other teams to contract with. Last year, if you remember, they did it with Bobby Dotter's team several different times with drivers in it. Bobby Dotter has 2 committed drivers in his 2 cars, so I guess that wasn't available. So they went to Ryan Sieg and put that car in there. So it's basically a Stuart Haas car and all that stuff. But Ryan Sieg Racing, they're going to get credit as their first ever win of the Xfinity Series, which is kind of cool for him to get that recognition for it. But the car really comes out of the Stuart Haas stable.
And Scott Hansen, former race car driver, reminded me yesterday that the crew chief on that Eric Almirola winning car yesterday was Craig Smokestad, who was Hansen's crew chief back in the day, running ASA and all that sort of thing. Pretty cool for Eric Almirola. He's in the twilight of his career. He got to have his kids out there that will actually now remember him actually winning a race. The whole thing was pretty cool. Almirola was so not only is the car supplied by Stuart Haas Racing, the driver was supplied by Stuart Haas Racing also.
Hard to believe that's his 4th career Xfinity win. You remember where his first one occurred?
I was there. I saw it. And he wasn't around for Victory Lane.
Right.
Yeah, that was.
He came out of the car. He started the car because Denny Hamlin couldn't land at the track because the helicopter was.
Somebody parked on the pad, right?
Helicopter pad, right. So the helicopter circled around and had to go back to the airport. So by the time Hamlin got to the track, race had started. Almirola was in there. He was leading. Rockwell, I think, was a sponsor. Hamlin to drive. They pulled Almirola out of the car, and then he came back from 2 laps down and won the race. And Almirola was mad and left the racetrack. And
Almirola got credited for the win. The ARCA West Series also ran out there, and Ryan Preece was your winner. Put a Cup guy in with the ARCA boys, and that'll happen. We're going to take a break and be right back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Buckle up, get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with 8 adults. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
We're getting back into it.
According to Rogers, the communication between him and Brian Gutekunst improved somewhat, but, quote, it still wasn't anywhere near what I've already enjoyed here with the Jets in just a few short weeks.
If he makes it work with his old ass, it's going to get pretty interesting for him.
Funny.
Two Pros. LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe. Jonas Knox.
Weekday mornings, 5 to 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Thanks for making us a part of your Sunday morning. The telephone number to call if you would like to participate in this program is 414-421-7901. Our old friend Greg from faraway Milwaukee is waiting so very patiently. Greg, good to hear your voice again.
Hey, great, guys. First of all, I hope you have something about Eddie's memorial. And then I have a couple of comments for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
My comments are that, I don't understand why they are pushing these road races and showing it on TV when it's probably the least favored. And when they had something like the All-Star race, you had to go to cable. And all those people missed that type of a show, which I'm sure would have had a much greater audience than they did have. So I don't like, watching tennis and ice hockey and everything else instead of, and watching road racing. It just doesn't make sense. My second question for you guys is, we used to have recognizable cars on the track, like the black number 3, the Rainbow Warriors, and so on. And except for Joey Logano and Chase Elliott, all the other cars, I don't know who's racing anymore because you can't tell, who they are because of the different change color schemes and sponsors and so forth. Wondering what your comments are about that. And I'm going to hang up and I'll listen to you on the phone.
Thanks, Greg. Boy, boy,
that's
do
just
I
the
agree
nature of the
that-
economy these days
Yes,
with the sponsorship thing.
That's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. The cost that is to run these teams anymore, you just can't. There's very few companies out there that can.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like James. When he found out how much USAA was helping members save, he said,
"It's time to switch.
We'll help you find the right coverage at the right price. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. Restrictions apply."
At Pick and Save, you can find the highest quality products at a great price in every aisle, every day with Kroger brand. So you can stock up on your household favorites that are tried, tested, and loved by you. Because when you get the products you love at great prices, it feels like winning. Shop now, in-store, or online. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Afford to finance an entire season with just one sponsorship, and that's where they're at. So you have to divide it up and cut it into pieces, and whoever's willing to pay this amount to have that many races and so on down the line, that's how it's working, and that's just the way it's going to go going forward.
You know, Brian, isn't that the word? Identifiability of the cars has changed over the years. You better know the number or you're not going to know who the hell just drove by, because it used to be, you know, a paint job you knew for a whole season, and it was a big deal when it'd show up for the Busch Clash in Daytona. Oh, we get to see all the new paint jobs. Well, there's a new paint job every week these days, and I really think it's part of what has hurt NASCAR. You know, not just all the drivers that retired over a short period of time, which is also, I think, a major issue of what kind of slapped NASCAR down. But this type of thing here, now you have stars you're trying to promote, and every week you're not sure what color. What's a yellow and black car? Oh, wait a minute, wasn't that red and white last week? Well, yeah, it was, but you know, it's a different sponsor. So that's really, you nailed it, Brian. It's just about the economy and having multiple sponsors to cover. Just think about this for a second. When Kyle Busch was driving for Joe Gibbs, and don't you just love it when he wins and Gibbs gets to watch that 8-car win, because he lost his sponsor over there with M&Ms and they couldn't find him a sponsor, so they had to let him go. And he goes over there and there's no shortage of sponsors on that 8-car every week. The problem is just exactly what Greg was talking about. It's a different color. It's a different paint. It's also, what the hell is 3-Chi or whatever the hell that is? You don't really know what you're looking at, but you got to remember who you're rooting for.
And it's a lot easier to do that now too. Back in the day, you literally had to paint the cars. You know, now with the technology you have with wrapping cars and that, I mean, they can do that in an hour. You know, so if you wreck a car, they can come in there, and these graphics guys will come in there and just slap a new wrap on the car. You couldn't do that back in the 90s. So you had the car set at a certain color because they had to come through the paint shop. So that's another reason why the technology in that has changed.
Yeah, they used to do that. I watched them wrap back on the 11 car, missed the race at Charlotte. They had to change the 18 from the interstate car to a FedEx car. They did that in no time at all. Well, it was the first time I'd seen something like that, and they couldn't believe that. You used to have to paint them. Remember when the Miller Brothers car got bought out at Daytona that time? They had to go, for the country time people, they had to take it to the paint shop and put a new paint job on it.
It was they had to paint that car yellow, and it still had the blue interior in it. Yes, I remember that.
Think about the spotters with those cars changing all the time. Now, I used to be able to sit in the stands and you could see things happen. You can know what car it was. I used to look for colors more than anything else. You know what cars matched
up on big tracks, yeah.
And so now your car changes all the time. You got to remember where your car went.
It's amazing how the game is changing. It changes constantly. I did want to say congratulations to longtime friend of racing in the state of Wisconsin, Father Dale Gruba. Today is his retirement party up there. They're having it at Neshkoro. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's going to happen here within a few minutes. And as you can tell, I have other things that I'm kind of required to do, and I couldn't make it up there for that. Dale Gruba is 82 years old. And I can't help but think back to those words that Dick Trickle said to Dale Gruba when Gruba was talking about retiring. Dick Trickle said to him, Father Gruba, when you retire, are you going to start hanging out in bars and chasing women? And Father Gruba, of course, said, no, Dick, I'm not. And Trickle said, then why the hell would you retire? Yes, I still miss Dick Trickle, and I think everybody around these parts do. Congratulations, Father Dale Gruba, on a life well lived and a career well done. We're going to sneak away for a break. You're listening to LTN right here on the Big 920, and we'll be back right after these.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
A full night of racing is set for this Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Watch the Grand Nationals, B-Mods, Wings Sprint Cars, and the return of the mighty Badger Midgets. Non-stop action featuring many of the area's best drivers competing. The Fair Park features a covered grandstand with seat backs throughout, a new sound system, and as always, great food. Next Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth, the Legend Cars return. Gates open at 4:30, opening ceremonies at 6. We'll see you there.
NASCAR heads to the road course in Sonoma.
Start your engine!
It's the Toyota Save Mart 350.
We got a spin up here at turn 2. Briscoe throws the block. Now Larson dives to his inside. Great three-way battle now as they head up the hill to turn 2. Busher now goes to the inside of Harvick. He's going to work in that second spot.
The Toyota Save Mart 350. Sunday, June 11th at 1:30
on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back to LTN. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I get all excited when we have a special guest on the program. The communications director at Road America, John Everett, is joining us. John, always great to have you on the program.
Hi, guys. Thanks. Great to be here.
John, next week it is. It's the big IndyCar weekend here, and the first time with these Indy cars on that new pavement. I think we're going to see speeds like we've never seen before, don't you think?
Oh, without question. Guys have been out here testing quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I am actually in Scora, Wisconsin right now. Just finished up with Father Dale Gruba's last Mass. He's retiring after 24 years of living the dream, as he says, so hopefully he'll be able to spend some more time out at Road America. But, yeah, without question, the IndyCar drivers have been doing a lot of testing. Team Penske's been out there. Also, Arrow McLaren has been out there, and quite a few. So without question, you're going to see some incredible lap times, some incredible speeds, probably some track records, and I like to say probably with a sense of optimism, because I'm pretty sure you will. But then again, it's all really dependent on how everything shape up. But the track is in exceptional condition. We've had a lot of cars on track, a lot of events on track. Finished up Moto America weekend. All of the riders couldn't say enough about how smooth the track is. And incredible, and we also saw some lap records then. So if you're going to see that in motorcycles, you're definitely going to see it in IndyCar.
And as is usually the case when you go to Road America every year, there's always new things for spectators to see. And I didn't get a real good shot to look at it last week when I was out there. I drove through the area, but explain to us the new carousel area. You're able to go through the outside of the entire carousel now, correct?
Yeah, what's really cool is that we've done a lot of improvements to the track, and the most prominent one would be the carousel viewing trail, we like to call it. And it starts over on driver's left of the Johnsonville Bridge, and you can go all the way around the outside of the carousel now, meeting up with a popular viewing spot that has been populated with some palm trees and beach chairs called the Beach, which is right before the kink. So not only can you get really incredible vantage points of viewing from the outside of the carousel and the inside of the carousel if you're camping, but you can also now get those from a lot of other trails moving along. It's just incredible to see it. And now you can view outside or inside, or you can go along the Kettle Bottoms Trail, and you can pick your spot all weekend long.
I think there's not really no more places at that track at all you really can't get to. I think you guys have got trails pretty much everywhere, and that's pretty cool because that's what part of this whole thing is. You come to this racetrack, right, John? You don't just sit in one spot and watch them go by. You explore and move around.
Yeah, what's exceptional is that, imagine if you were at the American Family Field or if you were at Lambeau Field and being able to get down on the field at player level. That's the equivalent of Road America, and that's what we encourage everybody to check out. Because once you come through the gate in your personal vehicle, you can find your parking space, bring in your coolers, bring in your lawn chairs, sit under a shade tree, put your feet in green grass, watch some world-class racing. If you're not happy with where you're sitting, if the sun happens to move, you can pick up your lawn chair and move to another location. 14 turns and lots of great concessions, lots of clean restrooms all around. So it's pretty much an opportunity to explore.
And the coolest part about the IndyCar weekend is you get to get right up close to the teams. There's no pit restrictions. There's no pit passes needed. You can walk right up to the IndyCar, transporters and watch them work on the cars, along with all the other series there. It's not only the IndyCar series that's there. You got all the Indy Next program, the US Pro 2000, USF 2000, Radical Cup. But the pit access is something that's really special for Road America.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great. I mean, when you think about other tracks such as Michigan, Daytona, if you're looking at NASCAR or IndyCar tracks, a lot of the times you have to have a special credential or something to get into the paddock. Not the case at Road America. You can walk amongst the teams, see the drivers, see the teams working on their cars. If you happen to miss an autograph session, you can definitely walk over to your favorite driver's pit or paddock area and see if you can catch them before they get in the car, because these guys are always very kind, very cordial, and we're very proud of that, and they love coming here as well. So we just encourage everybody to get their tickets early, get your golf carts early, get your camping early. There's still camping available, and come on out and enjoy a great weekend for IndyCar. The weather looks exceptional. We've had a little bit of rain over this weekend, so that's perfect for greening up the grass and getting everything in excellent condition.
That was going to be my next question. Where are we looking for? There's still golf carts available or in tickets and camping, but it's kind of limited as to what you can get yet, correct?
It's available, but it's going fast, and that's one of the things is that we're becoming extremely popular. Everybody's sort of learning their tips and tricks as far as getting golf carts early and finding a campsite or reserving a campsite for the next season. So we just encourage people, especially if it's your first time or if you're going with somebody for the first time, get on the phone now, get to roadamerica.com, and get your tickets early.
Cool. And then, it doesn't stop there. The weekend after IndyCar, we roll right into the June sprints. Then you get a week off over the 4th of July, and then we roll right into Trans Am. So a busy period coming up for you guys here.
Yeah, there's really something going on almost every single weekend at Road America, and that's why, season passes and event tickets are encouraged, because all you got to do is just go to roadamerica.com if you're wondering what to do for the weekend and you really love racing, because you can come to the June sprints, you can come to Trans Am, NASCAR near the end of July, IMSA, as well as SRO. So it's a full summer of action at Road America, and some great experiences for family and friends. Family reunions, people meet up, camp, barbecue, just really enjoy the weekend.
John, it's fantastic. It's not only the biggest event of the year at Road America, having the Indy cars there. It's the biggest event of the year in the state of Wisconsin with the Major League IndyCar Series racing at arguably the most beautiful and fantastic facility in the country. So, it's a huge event, and our best to you, and let's make sure everything pulls off perfect. The weather.
Well, I'm sitting here in the reception for Father Gruba's last Mass, so hopefully some divine intervention will keep the clouds away for IndyCar. And you can't ask for anything better. You know, always bring Father Gruba into the mix and ask him to say a prayer, and I think we'll be okay.
There you go. John Everett joining us. He's the communications director at Road America. Thanks for taking time, especially where you are. It's fantastic that you were able to do this, John. Good luck next weekend.
Guys, thank you, and we always love coming on the show. Have a great weekend.
You bet. John Everett. All right, so back to where he was. I mean, I mentioned Father Gruba's retirement, and there's a lot of racing people there, I should tell you. And it's pretty interesting that he called right from the event. Denny Hamlin will start on the pole today at Sonoma, 92.178 miles per hour. Reddick on the outside of the front row. So you got Hamlin and then Hamlin's driver, Reddick, on the outside. A couple of Toyotas. Oh, boy, isn't that going to be fun? Why do I just not love the Toyotas? I mean, they're built in America, aren't they? Blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's just Joe Gibbs and the way he does business. I'm tired of blah, blah. You hear it all the time, Toyotas. It suddenly makes Chevys the good guys. Go ahead.
The big surprise.
Febreze is a proud partner of Can't Cancel Pride. However you choose to express yourself, Febreze has the perfect scent to make your home even more fabulous in your own unique way. Have an amazing Pride from Febreze.
At Crystal Farms, farm and family are at the heart of everything we do. It's why we source our dairy from family farms across the Midwest, and why we're proud to have a place on family dinner tables all over the heartland. For any family that cares about giving the best to those close to them and the farmers who help put food on all of our tables, we proudly offer Crystal Farms cheese. Crystal Farms, for farm and family. Learn more at crystalfarmscheese.com.
Why not Kyle Larson? He's been on the pole and he's pretty much on this track lately, and he's back in like 16th.
Yeah, don't worry. He will be heard from. We'll take a break and be back.
Buckle up, get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with 8 adults. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
A full night of racing is set for this Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Watch the Grand Nationals, B-Mods, Wings Sprint Cars, and the return of the mighty Badger Midgets. Non-stop action featuring many of the area's best drivers competing. The Fair Park features a covered grandstand with seat backs throughout, a new sound system, and as always, great food. Next Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth, the Legend Cars return. Gates open at 4:30, opening ceremonies at 6. We'll see you there.
This week on NASCAR Live, Jordan Taylor joined the show.
Yeah, I mean, everything's different from the preparation to the driving style to the racecraft. So getting a taste of it at COTA was eye-opening. There was so much stuff to learn. So I feel like coming here, I have a better understanding. It feels like I'm not drinking out of a fire hose as much. It's still a lot of information, but I feel like I understand the basics.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Today will be the last race televised on the Fox network. It switches over to NBC. Is that good or bad? I'm not sure. That means today is the last race you will see without having Kevin Harvick as one of the color analysts. The will be televised on the big network today, Fox. So Fox 6 in Milwaukee. The green flag is at 2:50 this afternoon. Coverage starts right here on the Big 920 and on your iHeartRadio app at 1:30 this afternoon. The segments are on lap 25, 55, and it is a 110-lap event. in which Denny Hamlin once again will start on the pole. This week, it amazed me. NASCAR, I don't know if this is something they're going to do new or not. They pulled the illegal part. They pulled off the 14 car that had such a huge penalty last week. It was just unbelievable what they all slapped the 14 car with. But they actually held the part up with TV cameras on it and explained exactly what was wrong with it. It was a 3D printed engine panel duct. Oh my God. I wonder if this is going to be the new policy that they'll hold up the part and explain it. Wouldn't that be nice?
I like it. I mean, that's exactly what you should be doing to explain it. And we said it last week, come on out and let us know what actually happened. Well, he explained it and he showed the template that they put in there. It didn't fit. And I mean, now I'm clear on it now. It makes sense. Yes, they did an illegal procedure, making a part they're not supposed to do. I like it. I hope they do it going forward.
And I'm not sure they did it for performance. I think it was more of a quality control thing. Because I think if you're going to copy a part, if you're going to do it for a performance, did you see the markings didn't match up with the other part? You could tell it was manufactured like it shouldn't be. So if you're trying to hide something, wouldn't you make a better job of that?
It's 120 points. That's huge. 25 playoff points. No one will have 25 playoff points, will they? The crew chief, John Klausmeier, was suspended for 6 races. I mean, that was a major issue. Now, what we really hope is that every time there is some kind of a penalty like this with an illegal part, like for instance, when the Hendrick cars all got slapped because they had a illegal, or no, how about this? A non-supplied, non-single source supplied part that had been modified. They didn't hold it up and show the difference and how it might make a difference and how it might give them an advantage. All those things were shown here. And God, I hope this is the new way of doing things. That would make.
Think about that 14 car though. If you didn't have that duct, say you didn't have it there, you're putting this car together and you're out of it. Wouldn't you go ask another team for it or something and see if somebody else has one or something to use instead of making your own? Is kind of taking a risk there. Obviously, they got caught.
Dangerous. So dangerous. NASCAR has been busy too. If you'll remember that absolutely nasty accident at Talladega where Ryan Preece hit Kyle Larson in the door, and it was really ugly. It was in the driver's side. I mean, excuse me, on the passenger side. But they are now, because they took that car to the R&D center and looked it over and figured out what to do, they're going to put a new right side bar in the door. At the same time they're doing that, they're going to soften the front end up. Now, they didn't really give a whole lot of specifics. It has to do with the transfer of the shock when it hits a wall, Brian. At least that's the way I have it figured out. Without Ed here, it's kind of hard sometimes to figure these things out.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the point behind it, to make sure, something like that doesn't happen again. And you have to reinforce that area to keep that type of stuff from happening again. I mean, that was a scary incident to see, and you knew they were going to have to do some work behind the scenes to make sure you prevent those type of incidents, and I'm glad they did.
And it got some work to do as far as in these cars, as far as still being rigid in that. I mean, Noah Gregson's not racing today because of his wreck last week.
No kidding. He had a concussion at St. Louis last week after hitting all. Boy, we had a problem with brakes last week, right?
Yeah, well, see, that track, because it's such a long straightaway and turn 1 and 2 is so tight, what it was the brakes would heat up so much when you go into the corner, then they would cool off a lot as you're going down the straightaway, and that constant fluctuation from the real high temperature to the cooling quickly weakened the brake rotor, from what I understood, and that's why they had so much problems with it. I don't remember that being a problem last year, so I think maybe the teams didn't have as beefy a brakes this year as they had last year because there were no problems. They always try to run it to the rigid ed, and I think that's what happened here is they may have gone too far in the other direction, and that's why you had the brake rotors exploding.
We certainly have to commend them. They have to take a look at things. I think this new car is a work in progress. When they find things that aren't working right, they address it, and thank goodness they do that. But unfortunately, Noah Gragson had some symptoms of concussion. He is out, and Grant Enfinger, the guy who sounds a lot like Kermit the Frog, will be driving the car today and starting from the back. But that's just the way it works. I think it's his first ever Cup race. Elliott is back this week, in case anyone didn't notice it. Qualified 9th. This is Chase's. He was very. I don't know. Did you guys notice what he said this week? He was very apologetic, and it's the type of thing that you don't want to reflect poorly on your sponsors, because we all know how important sponsorship is and how tenuous all of our sponsors are in NASCAR. And Chase Elliott made it a point of apologizing and being very, very decent about it, and also hoping that Denny was okay after he hit the wall. Kind of hard to think about now, but it's great having Elliott back. He can't afford to do anything stupid anymore. There's a chance he's not going to make the playoffs.
And this is one of the races today that he has to have circled on his calendar to try to get a win, because it's rock solid as they were on road courses in the previous years. He only has a handful of road course races left between now and when the playoffs start, if he's going to knock out a win. Watkins Glen, Indy, the Chicago, and now today. So the road course races is where everybody's thinking he might be able to get that victory to punch his ticket. Today is one of them.
And, as right as you are, Brian, remember, he's not just a road course guy. I mean, he does race very well on other tracks. It just seems like, he just owned the road courses for the longest time.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, Nashville, too, in 2 weeks. That's another place he won last year. So he's got a stretch of races here coming up where, he could probably punch that ticket in there. But, if you get into the later stages of July and he still doesn't have a win, the screws are only going to tighten over there.
And I think you can really count Chicago as a road course to circle, because we don't know what that circuit's about. It could be too tight, and I'm not sure what that's going to be. I see the 67 cars coming back there with that Kobayashi guy. That's not the guy who eats the hot dogs, right, Brian?
No, it's a guy that just finished up his 24 Hours of Le Mans this week running for Toyota.
All right. Kobayashi and a Toyota. Something sounds right about that. I don't know. We're going to sneak away for a break. We've got some results for you from around the world of dirt. Oh, there's some important races going on, and we'll tell you about it right after these.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Buckle up, get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with 8 adults. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Join us every Sunday at noon when we replay some of the primest cuts in Packers history.
This week, we go back to 2019 and Matt LaFleur's first ever playoff game as Packers head coach. A game that saw its fair share of Devontae Adams fireworks.
He looks, he lost. Left side, yes! Devontae's got it to the end zone. High stepping, touchdown, Devontae Adams.
Packers Pride, Sundays at noon on Milwaukee's new home for the Green Bay Packers. 97.3 The Game.
LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Another busy week of dirt track racing across the country. We'll get started right away on Monday up in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Circle City Raceway. The USAC National Midget Car Series started their Indiana Midget Week, and Buddy Kofoid picked up the win there. Tuesday night in Beaver Dam, the IMCA Modified winner was Jeff Schmull. The IMCA Stock Cars went to Kenny Richards. Eagle River, Wisconsin opened up their season. The limited late model feature winner was Jason Zadroik. The Stock Cars went to David Blackberg. Out in Eagle, Nebraska, the High Limit Sprint Car Series. Boy, Kyle Larson, he doesn't race sprint cars much, but when he shows up, he wins, and he won yet again. I believe that was his third in a row in the High Limit Sprint Car Series, so he picked up the win there Tuesday night. Wednesday night, the Indiana Midget Week started back up again, and Logan Seavey picked up the win at Gas City's I-69 Speedway. Thursday night, Midget Week moved to Putnamville, Indiana, the Lincoln Park Speedway, and Buddy Kofoid picked up a win there. That was his second of the week. Also, Rossburg, Ohio, Thursday night, Eldora Speedway, the 29th annual Dirt Late Model Dream started up. 95 late models showed up for that event. They split them into two groups, and each ran for a $12,000 to win feature. Tim McCready and Ricky Thornton Jr. were the two feature winners on Thursday night. Friday night up at Chilton's Gravity Park in the Modifieds, Matt Klentz was your winner. The Grand Nationals went to Bradley Weiss. Stock Cars was Mitch Meyer. Over at Seymour, the Outagamie County Speedway in the Modifieds, Cole Sarneski was your winner. The Stock Cars went to Tyler Wilson. Out at Menominee's Red Cedar Speedway, the Wissota Late Model winner was Chad Mater. The Wissota Modifieds went to Jake Hartung. Jim Falls, Wisconsin, the Eagle Valley Speedway in the Modifieds was Michael Truscott. Limited late models was Lucas Peterson. Up at Superior's Gondik Law in the Wissota late models, Kevin Burdick was your winner, and the Wissota Modifieds went to Brandon Kopp. Out in Darlington, Wisconsin, the Lafayette County Speedway, the limited lates went to Ed Mills, and the IMCA Modifieds was Jeff Larson. Fountain City, Wisconsin, Friday night, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Febreze is a proud partner of Can't Cancel Pride. However you choose to express yourself, Febreze has the perfect scent to make your home even more fabulous in your own unique way. Have an amazing Pride from Febreze.
The USRA Modifieds went to J.C. Wadman, and the limited late models was Brad Waits. Bloomington, Indiana Midget Week continuing. Gavin Miller picked up his first career USAC Midget victory there. Attica, Ohio, the All-Star Circuit of Champions, another Speed Week type event. Ohio Sprint Speed Week started. Night number one, Zeb Wise with a last corner, last lap pass of Tyler Courtney for the win. That was pretty exciting if you saw highlights of that. Knoxville, Iowa, the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Local guy Brian Brown picked up the win there. Night number two in Eldora for the Dirt Late Model Dream, another set of twin 12,000 win features. Mike Marlar and Hudson O'Neill got the wins there. Last night, it finally rained in the state of Wisconsin. It hasn't rained for probably 3 weeks, but it did rain, and that knocked out Shawano, 141, Ashland, and Tomahawk. 141 of note has their big modified race this week. Remember, this year the feature event is on Wednesday night, not Thursday night. So the big Clash at the Creek 10,000 win race, Wednesday night of this week. I think you can watch that on Flow also. Tracks that did get it in, Plymouth. They just squeaked in two features in the late models. Mitch McGrath won, and in the 360 sprints, Tony Wondra. The late model race was, I think, 5 laps short. The rains came, and they were unable to finish the rest of the features. Wilmot, the IRA Wingless Sprints, Ryan Zaleski was your winner. In the modified, Steve Miller. New Richmond, Wisconsin, Cedar Lake Speedway in the modifieds, A.J. Diemel was your winner. Sycamore, Illinois, last night, the IRA Sprint Cars, Blake Nemi picked up the win. And the Badger Midget feature winner was Todd Kluver. Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Cleaver. I always screw that one up. Todd Cleaver. Lawrenceburg, Indiana Midget Week. Night number, I think that's number 8 they have. They have one more tonight. They finish it up. Ryan Timms got the win. Fremont, Ohio, the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars, night number 2 for the Ohio Sprint Speed Week. Danny Dietrich, another last corner, last lap pass. That one was really thrilling. He just got him at the line, just snipped him at the line for the win there. Knoxville, Iowa, last night, the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. David Gravel was your winner. And finally, the biggest event, probably of the year for the late models, the 29th annual Dirt Late Model Dream, $129,000 to the winner. And Jonathan Davenport just spanked him. Took the lead on lap 30 and never looked back, picking up the win. He's definitely putting himself up there with the greats of Billy Moyer and Scott Bloomquist in Dirt Late Model Racing with the resume he's been compiling over the last 10 years. And I don't see him turning back. He's going to be good for a long time.
Oh, yeah. In the world of asphalt racing, and thanks to our friend Paul Reichert, starting Thursday at State Park Speedway up in Wausau, In the super late models, it was Travis Volm winning the feature. And at WIR at Kaukauna, it was the red race of the red, white, and blue series. In the super late models, they had twin features, and Lowell Bennett went back to victory lane, first time in a while. One of the great racers the state has ever produced in super late model racing. Congratulations, Lowell. Sawyer Efforts won the other one, and in the late models, it was Brent Strelka. Friday at Golden Sands, they had the CWRA late models, twin features. Mark Mackesy won both of them. At Grundy, super late models raced, and Milwaukee area driver James Lynch went down to Grundy and won in the super lates down there at Grundy. Pretty cool. At Norway in the super late models, Greg Haase was your winner. Brazen Bennett was up there, finished third. The Midwest Dash Series ran at Hawkeye Downs in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Mark English was your winner there. Last night at Dells Raceway Park in the pro late models, Malon Borntrigger was your winner, holding off a guy that doesn't seem to lose very often in that number 44 car, and Mike Litchfield finished second. In the 602 late models, Ethan Rose was your winner. At Jefferson, it was the return of Casey Johnson. He just decided to pull the race car out and see how he would do. Was second fastest in qualify, ran seventh in the feature. Dale Nottestad was your winner at Jefferson. At La Crosse in the NASCAR late models, it was a 30-lap, 1,000 to win feature. Steve Bachman was your winner. At Rockford NASCAR late models, Michael Bilderback was your winner. And the Tundra Super Lates were supposed to run at Marshfield. They were rained out, and they still not have rescheduled it. They have to look over it's a pretty busy place for everybody. Last week at the Slinger Speedway, Jesse Bernhagen in the pro late models won his third out of 3 tries. The Neilsville Junior High School Social Studies teacher was your winner last week again at Slinger. And, of course, tonight the pro late models are back along with the Sportsmen, the Modifieds, the Super Bees, and the Slinger Bees at Slinger Speedway. So that's our results from around the state. We will come back and tell you some more good NASCAR stuff right after these.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Buckle up, get ready, get set, and get your tickets now as the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns to Wisconsin's Road America in Elkhart Lake, July 27th through the 29th. The smell of fresh rubber and food will fill the air for this weekend, along with the Porsche Carrera Cup for even more racing fun. An amazing, affordable weekend of family fun with camping, food, and more. Kids 16 and under get in free with paid adult. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Your national park of speed.
Every Sunday at noon, we replay the choice cuts of Packers history. Join us for Packers Prime with Doug Russell.
This week, the divisional playoffs 2019. Devontae's divisional dominance.
Sit over the left side. Devontae wide open. Outside the numbers 20. Cuts it back right past Flowers. 10 to the 5. To the end zone. High stepping. Touchdown. Devontae Adams.
Packers Prime. Sundays at noon on Milwaukee's new home for the Green Bay Packers. 97.3 The Game.
And welcome back to LTN. A couple of things going on. That you'd first of all, they ran Le Mans this weekend. This was the big deal for the Hendrick Motorsports car. It was a little bit of a collaboration between NASCAR, Hendrick, Goodyear, and Chevrolet, and they put all this all together. They took a cup, basically a cup body, and made all these very radical changes to it, lightened it up, and Jimmy Johnson was one of the, 3 or 4 guys that drove the car?
3 guys. Jimmy Johnson, Jensen Button, I believe Mike Rockefeller was the other driver.
Okay. And how did they do? It's over now.
Yeah, I mean, they were having an incredible week. Everybody really didn't know what to expect going into this. And in fact, there was some talk that when that car originally showed up, they were going to have to display the slow flag for it because they thought it was going to go so slow. Turns out it didn't go real slow. It was faster than many of the GT cars. And in fact, I believe at about 6 o'clock this morning, it was ahead of the GT winning Corvette car as far as laps completed. And then they had a transmission issue, had to go to the garage. I think they spent close to an hour maybe repairing it, came back out and finished it. I believe they ended up 39th. But I would say they exceeded far and away the expectations they thought coming into that race.
I guess so. Very, very impressive. A couple other notes. NASCAR is supposedly talking to Montreal about racing a road course race where they run the F1 Canadian Grand Prix. Do we need another road course? And especially, do we need to go to Canada for it?
Well, the Xfinity Series ran there for several years, and I mean, it was an entertaining race. They have a couple sharp hairpins on there that created a lot of havoc, but this push of having to get into the big cities thing, I just don't get it. Let's get through this year, see how it goes in Chicago, and then evaluate it, and then go from there. But this constant push of we got to be in these big cities things, I don't know if that's a help or more of a hindrance.
All right. A couple other notes quickly. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to build themselves a new stadium, and they're going to supposedly talk to Daytona about putting a football field in the dog leg. Is that a really good idea?
Dan, can you imagine watching a football game from our Daytona 500 seats?
You barely see them. They'd be like the size of ants. If you couldn't even see what play it was, I bet.
And Kyle Busch is selling his house. Is that important? It's on Lake Norman. It is 15,000 square feet, and the asking price is $13 million. The question would be, where are you moving and why?
There you go.
House for you. The pay isn't too bad. He won his 3rd race, for crying out loud, last week at St. Louis. A pretty nice job, the lightning delayed race. All right, I want to make sure everybody knows this. Our friend and partner, Ed Kaluka, as you all know, died on the 25th of May, and there is going to be a memorial service for him at Slinger Speedway. It will be 1 month after he died. June 25th is the day that they have a memorial race at Slinger Speedway for all the people that are gone over the course of the year since the last time we had this memorial race, and all people that had different and varied reasons to have business with Slinger, race at Slinger, provide parts for Slinger, crewmen for Slinger, all people that are being noted because of their racing. And it's going to be before the racing starts on June 25th, which is that Memorial Week at Slinger Speedway. Ed's memorial will be at the Slinger Speedway from 1 to 3 p.m., right before racing starts. It'll be at the pavilion at the south end of the racetrack. And anybody that knew or wanted to pay respects to Ed Kaluka, that would be when and where to do it. Right at the racetrack on June 25th. We will, of course, give you heads up before that comes. It's 3 weeks yet, but we will talk about it, and you'll know about it. Make that 2 weeks. Sorry about what time flies right past us. So that's where we'll see you at Slinger Speedway for Ed's. He has already, by the way, been interred into his crypt, and that was a private service for family only. And so just thought everybody would want to know about that. Gentlemen, they're racing today at Sonoma, and like I mentioned, we had a couple of Toyotas on the front row. The question would be, will the Toyotas be good all day long? I hate to say it, but I think they will be good all day long, and I'm picking Ty Gibbs to win his first race today.
Oh,
I'm so bad at picking. I hope my bad luck continues. Dan, who are you looking at?
I'll take a different tie. Tyler Reddick.
45 car. All right. And Brian?
I'm going with Chase Elliott. Punch his ticket into the playoffs.
Ooh, imagine that. We didn't make picks last week. Did you know that? We couldn't get them wrong. We just didn't do them last week. So that's good. We need to have a good week here. Hey, here's something to think about as we're winding down here. How long do you suppose Harrison Burton is going to be driving that 21 car? He's just not that good. And I can't possibly be the only one that notices. It is a Penske car. I realize it says Wood Brothers on it. Penske, of course, is happy to have the money from this Dex imaging outfit. But, is money what Penske's all about? Well, how long will it be?
That's a good question. I don't know. But I like you said, I think the Dex imaging thing is what's keeping him in there.
I think it depends on how many people are in Ford's pipeline, how many got to bring up. Zane Smith is one of them. Are there any more they got to find rides for?
Oh, and how many of them have any money anyway to replace them with? Man, that's tough. Hey, Slinger Speedway tonight, the pro late models take center stage. The sportsmen, modifieds will be there. Super Bs and Slinger Bs. If you can't make it to the track, you'll be able to watch it on Racing America. And keep that in mind. Hey, for all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you tuning in. And, of course, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer and website coordinator is Matt Losi Sr. For all of us involved, we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program is brought to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Helping students excel in today's classroom starts with me. WGU Teachers College offers a flexible online program that allows me to move through my courses at a pace that meets my learning style. Plus, I can earn my degree for about half the cost of other online universities. Learn more at www.wgu.edu/University of U.